Wednesday, June 25th, 2025 at 4:31 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. We have a new moon at 4 degrees of Cancer. So the sun and the moon are together in this sign, pulling us inward. This is introspective, it's introverted, it's private and quiet, and quite self-reflective. Pulling us into that Cancerian shell, but doing so with intention and presence and discipline this time. Jupiter is also conjunct this new moon, and we also have Saturn and Neptune in Aries, creating a 90-degree square to the new moon, bringing in a little tension for this week, and doing so with purpose, always with purpose. With Jupiter joining up with the new moon, it's a time of expansion. This is the planet of expansion. It also amplifies all of that which it comes into contact with. Jupiter does it, expands, it amplifies. So being in the realm of our emotions and emotional security, it might be amplifying that emotional realm, maybe amplifying physical symptoms that really have that deeper purpose of getting us in touch with something on the emotional realm that we haven't been showing up to nurture, to be present with. And we'll dive more into what it's amplifying as we move forward. And I want to acknowledge that there's also this like percolating pressure cooker type of energy because of that Saturn and Neptune and Aries coming into contact with it. If you think about it, Aries and Cancer, they're both cardinal signs. They want to get things done, okay? And new moons are very introverted, they're quiet, they're reflective. And where there's like movement or get things done is in the intention, okay? This is a lot of energy that's like, I want to stay in bed, I want to be cozy. It's making me think of like, it's been actually colder through all of solstice, the weekend, and the start of this week in Utah. And I even was in Idaho over the weekend. It snowed. It's got this like cozy vibes where you just want to go inward, stay wrapped up. I made chili last night for dinner, third day of summer. And you might be feeling this contrast of like, I want to stay wrapped up. I want to get things done. I want to get started on things. I haven't started on things. I need to go. And also like sit down for the introspection first is really what's coming through. It can kind of feel like an energetic frustration. And whenever Jupiter is involved, there is expansion. So trusting in that expansion, and in this case, expansion of our consciousness, of self-care, amplification around these Cancerian themes, like we just mentioned, around how are we mothering ourselves, right? This is the sign of the mother, the archetype that gives birth to life. And yet it takes time and intention and patience to bring life into this physical world. And this also applies to our dreams and the lives and the version of ourselves that we want to birth into this world. Jupiter reminds us of the necessity to take a higher vantage point during our new moon reflections and intention setting, to see the bigger picture. I have found in my personal experiences in the last couple days that the more zoomed in I get without pulling out, the more overwhelm hits. So having the ability to, yes, sure, maybe see the details, but also zoom out and see the bigger picture perspective and just stay present from that place. Spend most of your time looking there and then take action from that place. It gives space for the energy to flow through. And also, as I think of the mother archetype and what this energy does, right, and even Mother Earth, is it's looking at the ecology of its choices, of its actions. And so when we choose intentions and we design our intentions from this higher perspective, it's easier for us to see, is this ecological for ourselves, others, and the planet? So very, very important to have this zoomed out perspective. And when we've got Saturn and Neptune in Aries squaring it all, this is essentially our discipline, Saturn, coming into contact with our dreams, which is Neptune. This is radical ownership over ourselves and really tapping into the discipline to do the inner work, okay? With this new moon in Cancer, it's like all the emotions coming to the surface, and then Saturn says, sit with them. Neptune says, maybe turn it into art. Neptune says, remember your dreams. And I don't mean the dreams that you had last night. I mean your soul's dream. And like everything in our reality, this could be showing up on a spectrum for you, right? So notice where you fall in the flow of this energy. From a more shadow perspective, it looks like, there's so much coming up that it's escapism, it's avoidance, it's just bypassing altogether. And on the flip side of that coin, of the spectrum, it looks like acknowledging those dreams and going for it. It looks like being in overwhelm and being able to sit and to breathe and to find a higher vantage point within yourself, to be present with what is literally flowing through. If you think Cancer is the sign that represents running water, like a river, and running water, I'm going to quote my acupuncturist, Dr. Ding, running water never stale. Okay, we want the water to continue running. If we suppress or bypass it, it's stagnant water. And let me just ask you this, would you want to consume stagnant water? Would you want that in you? Because our emotions are water energetically. And if we're bypassing them or suppressing them, well, that's the one side of the coin. Now, however, going to this other side, it's that, radical ownership over ourselves. And during this new moon, it's really mothering ourselves, nurturing ourselves. Maybe this looks like showing up for yourself in ways that maybe someone didn't in your childhood and where you had these unmet needs. And maybe it's where you're just craving something. You have a need and you're going to show up to meet it for yourself. And really, it could also be just prioritizing you and your wellness in some way during this time. Yesterday, I started working with a new body worker, and I committed to once a month. That's new in my self-care routine. I put so much physical energy into this land, and I realized I need to bring that full circle. I need that cycle. In order for the energy to keep moving, I need to pour into my cup. And so that's what I signed up for. I'm integrating new things into my self-care practice. And action-oriented energy, right, which is cardinal energy, should be directed, I've said this many times, but I can't say it enough, towards yourself during this time. Foundational work, right? Doing that inner work, going into the foundation energetically, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, pouring into all four of those bodies every day. Think of the mother archetype. She asks, are you eating a balanced diet? Are you consuming a balanced diet? Does each day include movement and mindfulness and emotional presence and connection with something greater? A pause to witness the energy around you, the divine unfoldment of it all. When all of these cups are filled, now that's when we take the highest quality action. Action comes from, quality action, I should say, comes from your beingness. It comes from who we are as beings without doing anything at all. We are not hamsters on the wheel as human doings, right? We are human beings here to take inspired and creative action, and that requires you to show up first for yourself. So with this new moon energy, let it inspire upgrades to the self-care. Notice what aspects of you are needing more, maybe are out of balance spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Right? How can you elevate all of that? Dial in your routine in ways that pours into all of those cups, and do it in the morning. Have the discipline to show up for yourself in the morning, you first. If that means waking up a little earlier, this doesn't have to take more than 20 to 30 minutes. It can, it should, but some days it might just be 20, 30 minutes, and that's okay. Prioritize connection to the earth as well. Walk barefoot on the earth. Take your shoes off and just stand on the earth, lay on the earth. Get up early for this new moon. I love when newer full moons show up in the quiet hours of the day. So showing up in the nothingness of those early hours of the day. It's 4:31 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, which is like 6:30 on the East Coast. Really early on Pacific, 3:30. You can do it. And get up early when you are so tired that your conscious mind cannot get in the way. It's kind of a little secret I have, that I love this time of day because I can feel when my neighborhood wakes up. I don't say hi to everybody, but I can feel it. And we can feel it too. And being in that clear headspace allows us to be more present with ourselves. So wake up. during this new moon and just, go sit outside, wrap yourself in a blanket, be present with nature, listen, and connect with yourself. Alan Watts reminded us of our inseparability from nature when he said, we do not come into this world, we emerge of it, like leaves on a tree. So maybe meditate on that during this new moon. Do something nurturing for yourself. Even cook a meal from the earth. Do that. Big blessings and big Jupiter big size love to all of you. Have a good day.